Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on operations research. In this session, we are going to discuss about the simplex method, some terminologies related to simplex method. The first one is objective function, the function that is either being minimized or maximized. For example, it may represent the cost that you are trying to minimize or the profit that you are trying to maximize. We generally represent the objective function as Z. Optimal solution, a vector x which is both feasible, satisfying the constraints, and optimal, obtaining the largest or smallest objective value. So optimal solution is what you want to find in the simplex method, which will be used in the objective function. So your z will be a function of x. Constraints, a set of equalities and inequalities that the feasible solution must satisfy. So you will have certain equations given. For example, you may have equations like 3x1 plus 5x2 less than equal to 10, or you may have 4x1 plus 7x2 greater than equal to 15, something like this. So these are inequalities. Or if you have something like this, this is an equality because you have an equal to sign. Your x1 and x2 are going to be the optimal solution vector. For example, x1 and x2 that you have. So this is what you want to find out. And your z will be in terms of x1 and x2. Where say x3 and 5 are certain price in rupees for a particular product. And we want to find out how many x1 and x2 you need to produce. Feasible solution, a solution vector x which satisfies the constraint. So if you have a particular vector x which is going to satisfy your constraint, then we call it as a feasible solution. Basic solution, x of ax is equal to b is the basic solution if the n components of x can be partitioned into m basic and n minus m non-basic variables in such a way that the m columns of A corresponding to the basic variables form a non-singular basis and the value of each non-basic variable is 0. So this is something which is important. We will have certain basic and non-basic variables. So m will be the number of basic and n minus m will be the number of non-basic variables we have, and n will be the total number of components of x. So as we solve the problems, I'll tell you what is n, m and n minus m. You should remember that m will be the basic variable, n minus m is non-basic variable, n is the total number of components we have, and the non-basic variable is 0. This is something that you need to remember. The constraint matrix A has m rows constraints and n columns variables. Basis, the set of basic variables that you have. You can have basic variables like x1, x2, x3. You may also have certain slack or surplus variables that we are going to discuss about like s1, s2, or as the problem proceeds, you will also study about the artificial variables. So all these are going to be your variables. In this, you will have to sort them into basic and non-basic variables. Basic variables, a variable in the basic solution, value is not 0. Non-basic variable, a variable not in the basic solution, and the value will be equal to 0. So there will be something which is called as initial basic feasible solution. So when you calculate this, IBFS is a short form, there will be some non-basic variables where the value will be equal to 0, and there will be certain basic variables whose value will not be equal to 0. So these are the ways we are going to distinguish them. Slack variable, a variable added to the problem to eliminate less than constraint. If you see this constant that I had just written, 3x1 plus 5x2 less than equal to 10, for example. So when you have a less than constraint and you have to add a variable here. So what you observe is left hand side is smaller as compared to the right hand side. So if I add something to the left hand side, then LHS will be equal to RHS. So in that case, you write 3x1 plus 5x2 plus S1 is equal to 10. You have added something here that is called as the slack variable. Surplus variable, a variable added to the problem to eliminate greater than constraint. So I had written one more constraint if you recollect, say if 7x1 plus 6x2 greater than equal to 25 for example. So this is a greater than equal to sign. If you observe, this left hand side is greater as compared to the right hand side. So you need to add something to the right hand side to make them equal, or you can subtract from the left hand side such that both become equal. So you can write 7x1 plus 6x2 minus S2 is equal to 25. I have written S2 because I have already written S1 here. So when you say this is called as a surplus variable. So whatever you subtract is the surplus one, and what you add is called as the slack variable. Then there is something called as artificial variable, a variable added to a linear program in phase 1 to aid finding a feasible solution. Now if you observe this, suppose in case I assume x1 and x2 are the non-basic variables and I take these value as 0. So when I assume both are 0, these two are gone. So what you get is S2 is equal to 25. Now there is something called as non-negativity constraint, wherein x1, x2, s2, these all should be greater than equal to 0, including s1. If you consider this also, then s1 all should be greater than equal to 0. These variables cannot be negative. And if you observe here, S2 is coming out to be minus 25. So if you don't want to have a minus 25, what you do is in artificial variable problems, you add one more variable here. This is called as artificial variable. So now if you assume S2 also as 0, S2 is a non-basic variable. It is not in the basic solution. This is 0. So now you can say A1 is equal to 25. And S2 is not negative. You have made a problem which has non-negativity constraint. Next is unbounded solution. For some linear programs, it is possible to make the objective arbitrarily small without bound. Such a linear program is said to have an unbounded solution. So it is possible that you can make your objective very small without bound. So that is called as an unbounded solution. Linear programs in standard form. Every linear program can be converted into standard form. Maximize Z as C1x1 plus C2x2 plus C3x3 up to Cn xn, where C is the coefficient. So this can be some numbers like 3, 5, 4, 7, something like that. And you have variables x1, x2, x3. Subject to constraints A11 x1 plus A12 x2 up to A1n xn is equal to B1. So this is the constraint as I was telling you, like 3x1 plus 5x2 less than equal to 6. Now here what I have written is inequality. Suppose if you have with an equal to sign over here, then that will be in the standard form. So these are the two equations, as you can see, constraints which are in the standard form. And always these variables x1, x2, x3 up to xn has to be greater than equal to 0. Where the objective is maximized, you can see here, we have written maximize Z. The constraints are equalities because we don't have a inequality sign, and the variables are non-negative. This is very important. So this is done as follows. If the problem is minimize Z, convert it into maximize minus Z. Now how do you do? Suppose if your problem is given as minimize Z, you should write maximize and the Z equation. Suppose you had minimize Z is equal to 3x1 plus 5x2. If you have to convert it to standard form, you will write down maximize Z is equal to minus 3x1 minus 5x2. So it completely changes its sign. If a constraint is ai1 x1 plus ai2 x2 up to ain xn less than equal to bi, convert it into an equality constraint by adding a non-negative slack variable si. So as I told you, if it is less than equal to, you need to add s1 over here. The resulting constraint will have S1 as you can see, and this sign is changing to equal to. Si has to be greater than equal to 0. If a constraint, as you can see here, is greater than equal to, convert it into an equality constraint by subtracting a non-negative surplus variable Si. So this will now be like this, minus Si is equal to Bi, Si is greater than equal to 0. Now you would be wondering how Si will be equal to 0. Then in such kind of problems, what we do is, we are going to go for use of artificial variables as in when required. If some variable xi is unrestricted in sign, replace it everywhere in the formulation by xj dash minus xj double dash, where xj dash and xj double dash will be greater than equal to 0. So now we will try to transform the following linear program into standard form. The question is minimize z is equal to minus 2x1 plus 3x2. And it is subject to two constraints. You can see here x1, it is unrestricted, x2, x3 is greater than equal to 0. So how do we solve this? We will start by writing maximize z is equal to, this has to be multiplied with a minus sign. So this will become 2x1 because it already had a minus sign, and this will be minus 3x2. Next is subject to. First constraint is x1 minus 3x2 plus 2x3. This is less than equal to. So I am going to add plus s1 is equal to 3. For the next one, it is greater than equal to. So I will write down minus x1 plus 2x2 minus s2 is equal to 2. And last, copying what is given. Also, you will write down S1 and S2 are greater than equal to 0. Now, the last step over here is to convert the unrestricted variable, that is x1. So, we will write x1 is equal to x1 dash minus x1 double dash. So, if this is x1, we need to substitute here and rewrite this equation as maximize z is equal to, instead of x1, I will write 2x1 dash minus 2x1 double dash. So I have substituted x1 as x1 dash minus x1 double dash minus 3x2. Then again I will write down subject to. This will be x1 dash minus x1 double dash minus 3x2 plus 2x3 plus s1 is equal to 3. Then we will write down minus x1 dash plus x1 double dash, because here there is a minus sign in front of x1, plus 2x2 minus s2 is equal to 2. And lastly, we will write down x1 dash, x1 double dash, x2, x3, s1 and s2. All are greater than equal to 0. So this will be conversion of a linear problem into a standard problem. Now we need to note something, that the slack variables represent idle resources. Therefore, they are to be positive or non-negative. Further, the contribution per unit of a slack variable is always taken as 0 in the objective function of an LPP. This is so because profits are not made on unused resources. Since this is an idle resource, we are not going to really add it into the problem. Surplus variables in greater than equal to type inequalities, we subtract a variable called the surplus variable to make it an equality. The value of this variable can be interpreted as the excess amount of resources utilized over and above the given level. The contribution per unit of a surplus variable is also taken as 0 in the objective function. So what we are talking about is, in this equation, suppose which we were just talking about, when we converted, it was 2x1 dash minus 2x1 double dash minus 3x2. Now we never spoke about the S1 and S2. So what we do is 0 S1 plus 0 S2. So what we are doing is, we are multiplying it with the coefficient 0 such that there will be no contribution of these two terms in maximizing the objective function. since one is an idle resource and one is excess use of the resources. So with this, I end the session on the theory of simplex method. In the next session, we will start with solving of the numericals of simplex method. If you have any doubt, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for latest video updates. See you in the next session. Thank you.